What's going on, guys? My name is Wade with TechDaily, and in this video, we are checking out the brand new POCO X8 Pro. For those who don't know, POCO is Xiaomi's budget and mid-range sub-brand, and these phones tend to be pretty solid alternatives to the four-figure flagships from both Xiaomi themselves and the other big-name brands you know. POCO has been around for a while now. I feel like about a dozen new POCO devices every year, and I like checking them out because, well, for one, I like to see what's available in that sub $500 range. This phone falls well under that threshold. And POCO devices also often have some unique features, themes, or other things that make them stand out amongst the very repetitive and sometimes boring smartphone landscape. POCO's new X8 line actually consists of two phones, this X8 Pro and an X8 Pro Max. There doesn't seem to be a regular X8 this year, at least not at the moment. And while I continue to cringe at the unoriginal naming schemes, I do think this X8 Pro not only offers a couple decent upgraded specs over last year, but as a whole, it's a really enticing option for basically just a few $100. So I'm going to fill you in on everything you need to know about this new POCO X8 Pro. I'll also just briefly touch on what makes the Pro Max better. It's not a whole lot. And you guys can let me know if this is a phone you're considering right now, or if there's a different POCO or Xiaomi device that you'd prefer instead. First things first though, like we always do, let's just quickly unbox it and see what Xiaomi still includes in the package. I feel like this is the same box design they've used since the beginning of time, but slicing on into it here and sliding off the lid, you're immediately blinded by that bright yellow packet with the POCO logo. And inside, there's a SIM ejector tool along with the thickest stack of paperwork, safety info, a warranty guide, RIP to the trees that died for this. And POCO also still tosses in a matte black rubbery plasticky case to protect your brand new phone. I'll pop that on in just a minute, but I do appreciate that it's still included. Setting that pile of stuff aside, next up is the phone itself. And if you wanted a quick rundown of some of the specs and features, well, here you go. I'll obviously go more in depth with everything here in just a second, but there's two more things we still need to grab from the box. There is both a USB-A to USB-C cable and a pretty beefy 100-watt hypercharge wall plug. And I think regardless of the fact that it's still USB-A, you have to appreciate the wattage here. You don't even get this good of charging on some $1,000 flagships, and it's one of the things I do like most about these POCO phones. With all that stuff out of the way, here is the new POCO X8 Pro once again. And as we get it set up here, let's talk pricing and where in the world you can buy one. The full retail price for the X8 Pro is basically $329 US. You can spec up the RAM and the storage for a little bit more, and obviously different country currencies may skew that dollar amount. The X8 Pro Max, by the way, is closer to $470 and eclipses $500 if you spec that one up. And while the X8 series was launched globally, that of course does not include the US. But you can very easily buy this phone unlocked directly from Xiaomi and from countless third-party retailers in person and online around the world. And if you just quickly want to know what you get in going with the Pro Max instead, well, it has a nicer build with a glass back, eSIM support, a bit bigger display and better processor, and a bigger battery. No real difference in cameras, RAM, storage, or the viewing experience with the screen other than the size, so potentially enticing, but I'm personally okay with saving the money and sticking with this regular Pro myself. Now, at 6.59 inches corner to corner, this new POCO X8 Pro is not only smaller than last year's X7 Pro, but it's kind of a small-ish smartphone in general when most Android devices default to a 6.7-inch form factor. You get thin, even black borders framing the screen, a selfie camera cutout up top, big rounded corners. It's a good-looking phone. There's nothing budget about it visually from the front. And while it's not quite S26 size small, it's a slightly more comfortable phone to hold and something something you might even notice and potentially appreciate if you're used to having something bigger in your hand. I'd just say it's smaller than average, but not decisively compact. Around back, this regular POCO Pro has a plastic rear cover. The glass, remember, is reserved for the Pro Max. The frame of this phone, though, is all aluminum, so it feels sturdy and premium and a little heavy, at least if you don't feel up the back panel too much. That does still feel kind of plasticky. It's a very flat phone, front, back, side to side, no curved glass or contoured edges. And if this plain black is too boring for you, you can instead opt for white or mint green, or even go all out with the special Iron Man edition. Check out Uncle Techspert's video if you want to see all the goodies and special things that come with that one. Don't worry, I'll get to that RGB camera ring in just a moment, but there's nothing on the left side of the phone here. On the right, a metallic red accented power button just below the volume buttons, IR sensor and mystery hole up top, and at the bottom, the main loudspeaker alongside the USB-C port for charging and the SIM card tray. Dual physical SIM support on this phone, no eSIM, no micro SD card expansion. You can opt for either 256 gigabytes of storage or 512 gigs like you saw earlier. And I think POCO has peaked now with the number of pre-installed apps that come on this phone after a fresh setup. I mean, half the stuff here is just things I'd immediately uninstall, and a couple of the crappy games literally beg you not to delete them. But the uninstall animation is just so satisfying, and I love exploding those junky apps that probably help keep the cost of this phone down, I know, but otherwise continue to be a mild annoyance. Flashing and blinking around the cameras back here is a new to this phone feature called backlight effects. We've seen similar RGB light features on other phones, and basically this can be your notification indicator when the phone is face down, a camera countdown so you know when to smile if you're using the rear lens. You can have it light up while gaming, or like I have here, you can have it pulse and blink while music is playing. You can set it to different colors for incoming calls or general app notifications, so you can tell them apart. And while it's not a totally necessary feature, to be honest, it is sort of fun and unique and gives the back of this phone some character for sure, since it's otherwise pretty simple. Regardless of whether or not I use this little light effect, I think it's a cool add-on, and I appreciate POCO bringing something this unique to a budget-friendly phone. It sort of shows that they aren't just offering the bare minimum. This phone does have an in-display fingerprint sensor, which works well for unlocking and getting into it. There's face unlock too, and there is a pre-installed screen protector here, like always, which you can probably see from the right angles. No complaints though, it doesn't impact the fingerprint sensor at all, and it beats me having to clumsily put one on myself. If you're curious about the case, well, here's what that looks like also installed on the phone. You probably can't even tell since both the phone and the case are matte black, but maybe that's a plus. It's kind of a stealthy look. Nothing more to say here though. It's basically the same old Xiaomi case that's been included with these POCO phones for the last few years. It's at least some protection for your brand new phone. When it comes to the viewing experience, not a whole lot has changed on this X8 Pro, but honestly, I don't even know what you could upgrade here. The slightly smaller 6.59-inch screen is still an AMOLED panel. It's a better than 1080 resolution 1268 by 2756 for some 460 pixels per inch, so it's actually quite sharp given its slightly shrunken dimensions. The brightness does get a bump up, 2000 nits high brightness mode with 3500 nits peak. Not a huge leap over the X7 Pro, but if you wanted to pick out a difference, that's basically it, with also an additional enhancement to its PWM frequencies. And it's still a 120 Hz high refresh rate screen. I know in the world of Android, a lot of these screen specs are almost standard issue nowadays, but there are some $300-ish phones that lack one or two of those specs. Maybe they're 90 Hz, maybe the brightness isn't all the way up there. The X8 Pro though has everything and then some, including some additional options to tweak the screen a bit if you want to get it looking just right. The display is also covered in Gorilla Glass 7i, which I know isn't groundbreaking necessarily, but it's better than a no-name cheapo glass with extra glare. Like I said, I truly don't know what could even be improved with this phone's viewing experience. I think it's really great, and certainly the second best feature overall for this phone, besides its internal specs and processing power. more on that in a moment. But yeah, this is a screen that I feel punches way above its weight and its price point. I do wish the out loud listening experience was a little better. This phone utilizes the main loudspeaker at the bottom and then the earpiece up at the top as the secondary speaker, rather than a larger standalone secondary speaker cut out towards the top like on some other phones we've seen. So you're getting like 90% of the sound out of the bottom of the phone, and it's probably a bit more rough and muddled than it should be, but here's a quick sound sample so you can get an idea. Inside, this new X8 Pro is powered by a basically brand new processor, the MediaTek Dimensity 8500 Ultra. It launched alongside this phone specifically, and paired with either 8 or 12 gigabytes of RAM, like I have here, you're getting the latest and greatest in mid-range components. Here are the Geekbench scores, if you want to compare numbers. I feel like this is the most important bit, since very few people have been benchmarking this chip at this point. And again, looking past the Pro and Max and Ultra naming ridiculousness that all of these companies seem to want to perpetuate and just add to the overall confusion, I think getting literally a brand new processor inside this phone is a huge win. So often, these companies will use a 1 to 2 year chip or older to cut costs, which makes sense to some extent, but it feels weird getting something old inside something new. This is new through and through, and it's a plenty powerful chipset for pretty much whatever it is you want to do. The phone does ship with the latest Xiaomi HyperOS update over Android 16, and you're guaranteed 4 years of full Android updates and 6 total years of security patches. To me, this is one of the few mid-range phones right now that truly has a full 4+ year lifespan, both in terms of the software guarantees, but also pairing it with its all-new internals. You're literally getting a brand new phone, and I think that's money well spent, even beyond just having its friendlier price tag. With all that being said, I'm curious if maybe I'm actually in the minority here with this particular viewpoint. Even though this is literally a brand new 4nm 25% faster processor that's been built and optimized for the best possible experience based on today's smartphones and software, all according to POCO of course, would you instead rather have just a 2 or 3 year old proper flagship processor in a phone like this? Let me know, because I feel like some people are pretty divided on that. Also powering this phone, which you might have noticed earlier, is a big-sized 6500 mAh silicon carbon battery. It's big, it's beefy, and it can be charged with 100-watt wired speeds, going from 0 to 100% in about 47 minutes, which, considering its size, is actually pretty impressive. You can also use this phone as a power bank of sorts, spreading 27-watt wired charging to another connected device. No wireless charging for this phone though. No surprise, not really something found on budget devices, but plenty of power to push you through, well, Xiaomi says 2 days of use potentially, but certainly a full day with a little juice left over. And I, for years, have felt that the battery size and the charging features and the charging speeds for these POCO phones are another top selling point. Finally, while the fun and funky RGB light show is, I guess, technically a new addition to the camera setup indirectly, the actual camera lenses and shooting modes haven't really changed compared to last year's X7 Pro. You get a simple dual lens deal here, a 50 megapixel main lens and an 8 megapixel ultra wide. Up front, it's a 20 megapixel selfie shooter, and to be honest, I actually really appreciate the simplicity here. Xiaomi didn't try and make up some multi-lens lie that other budget phones have with mystery circles around the back. And they didn't litter the camera app with anything more than just camera features, shooting modes, useful settings, things you'd want to have in the camera app. Don't get me wrong, there are some mildly annoying limitations, like the inability to zoom at all in 50 megapixel mode, and the video is limited with the wide-angle lens, but there's optical image stabilization and motion tracking focus, native document scanner, pro photo and video modes, and the end result is a picture or video that looks pretty good coming from a phone that I would say isn't exactly screaming camera focused. Again, nothing is new here, nothing is really updated from last year when it comes to these camera lenses, so there's not much more to say beyond that. If you liked what you saw last year, I would imagine it's a very similar experience this year, but the simple and straightforward camera setup you do get is probably still better than its $300-ish price tag might suggest. I've been fortunate enough now to try out quite a few POCO phones over the last few years from all of their various letter series, and each time I am more and more impressed with what you get for literally just a few $100. This new X8 Pro isn't an especially groundbreaking device, and in fact, I'd argue it's probably one of the simpler smartphones I've tried so far this year, both in its design and its features and functions. It's a little smaller, a little more powerful, and a little more fun, I think. This could be a great option if you want to save hundreds of dollars without sacrificing a ton of specs and features. I don't think I've ever said a phone that is 2 or 3 times more expensive than something like this is actually 2 or 3 times better overall. Maybe in the camera department, or maybe in the software features. But in fact, a phone like this is getting to be more similar to those flagship phones that still, for whatever reason, command way too high of a price. But what do you guys think of this new POCO X8 Pro? Is it something you're considering right now for your next new device? Did you maybe pick one up already? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, of course. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Be sure to follow TechDaily on Twitter and subscribe to the TechDaily YouTube channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys later.